hardwire. The open roads are thrown by your life televised, we're breaking every bone. Adrenaline surges, brace off the fall. Hitting it with hardwire. Hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing. In the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. With hardwire, the crowd screams our name. Chasing down the shadows, we're addicted to the fade. Chains rattling loud, the brotherhood's alive. Every episode turn up, we're here to survive. From dusk till dawn, we're the keys of this thrill. Hitting it with hardwire. Hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing. In the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. On the edge of chaos, we embrace the feel. Hitting it with hardwire. We'll always be here.
Welcome to Hittin It with HardWire. I'm HardWire, I think. How is everybody doing? I was downstairs trying to take an old man nap, and I had to run up here. I was like, "Uh-oh, I'm going to miss the show." I think I'm a little bit late. I'm not sure. I had my hands full. I had to carry up like a bunch of pop and coffee and whatnot. Still feeling like crap. Hey, it's good to see everybody. Jim Barrett made it. Barbie. Let's see. Gary. Carney's Ride. Cool, man. Get more and more all the time. You guys are awesome. I love you all. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody have a good weekend? I had this stupid cold. Oh, no. Do not ever let me drink on air again. That was bad. I started getting drunk and I had the bottle sitting up here. And then I said, well, yeah, I better put them down. I put them down and I ended up getting them back out. And that was the worst choice I made. Well, I should have just left them down there. That was a bad deal. Yeah, there towards the end, my wife says, you was rambling and mumbling and on and on and on. And then I'm like, I got them bottles back out, took a couple more shots, and then I woke up on the bed and I don't know what the hell I was. Had to go back and watch it. Watch the end of it because I didn't remember. It's all right. We don't want to do that anymore. Getting too old for that mess. Yeah, it's too much salt in that pickle juice too. I forgot I had my blood pressure messed up all week. Still got this stupid cold I can't get rid of. That stupid thing coming from my window again. But yeah, today I don't have any special guests or anything special going on. I had a good day yesterday. Getting a little old for I like the biker parties that start around 1 or 2 o'clock and go and eat and do our BSing and hanging out and get home at a decent time. Yeah, a lot of the younger guys are like, the party don't even start till 10, 11 o'clock. And I said, yeah, I remember those days whenever I used to say that, but No, I'm old. I want to be in bed by 10, 11 o'clock. And there's no more Steelers games. I mean, not this weekend. We're on bye week, so I'm a little lost without my Steelers game. Why does everybody want me to drink more whiskey? You guys like when I make a goober out of myself on the air? Does that make for good TV? That's all right. Hey, you got to understand something. I am normally a goofy person. I'm always cracking jokes and acting like an idiot. That's just me. That's who I am. It gets me in trouble sometimes. Some people don't know how to take me. But if I say anything, usually it's kidding in a kidding fashion. Some people don't know how to take a joke. I've had I've accidentally started some fights that way. Some people just can't handle it. But anybody that knows me and knows that I'm just messing around, just joking around, yeah, they're usually enjoy me being goofy. Hey, thanks for showing up, America Uncensored. We got soundproof. Mike keeps showing that bubble popping show, and it always makes me think about how shallow a lot of people are, and relationships, and the way people think when you're young. And yeah, there's a lot of shallow people out there. I can't say that at some point in time in my life I wasn't too. I can't stand that. Let's see if I can fix it. Come on, yep, no, it's better. Hope I didn't flash you or anything. Uh, okay, well, as I was saying, uh, anybody that catches my show, that my show is always I have to put something in the little preview box or whatever, and we go off topic, and we don't really have specific topics. It's what's the word for it? Improvised. We just BS and have a good time in here and chit chat with each other. I think we're supposed to have, here we're supposed to have a day on Tuesday that's going to be almost 80 again, but it was cold out last night. Uh, yeah, and I was thinking about some of my past relationships, and I said, what was it I put on? I thought it was funny. Uh, how to destroy relationships from a professional, being me. I've yeah, I've wrecked 3 marriages. Well, I don't know if I didn't necessarily I wrecked them, but yeah. One of the most important things I found in a relationship is you have to be able to get by on your own, uh, and not look for somebody that like completes you. Like one of the biggest problems in relationships that make relationships fall apart is when people are constantly wanting attention. Uh, you know, always wanting to be up each other's ass. You have to be able to survive on your own, get by on your own, do your own thing sometime, uh, and have trust and faith that the other person's always going to be there no matter what. Oh, why did I know somebody would ask me that? Yes and no. Uh, like I said before, he seems like the kind of guy I could talk to and like probably have a beer with or something, but he wouldn't be my choice in friends because I don't know. He seems like it's a little egotistical for my liking. Some people like that, but then some people it doesn't bother. But I don't like people like that too much. And believe me, the motorcycle world is full of those kind of people with egos big enough to fill a room, or you gotta people's head gets so big sometimes you gotta kind of let me in. Get it up a little bit so let somebody else in the room, man. Come on. I catch shit sometimes because some people tell me, HardWire, you shouldn't act like this or do this or say this because a 1%er, you don't represent us very well because we don't have. Some of them will say we shouldn't have that. Should be a little bit tougher, I guess, is kind of a way to say it, but not like unnecessarily fighting tough because I could be fighting tough if I need to be, but I'm a goofy person. That's just who I am. And as a 1%er, I am who I am. And if you don't like it, shove it. That's basically the way I see it. You can't tell somebody else how they should be, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own personalities. Just, you know, to each their own. It's like I say about almost everything, takes all kinds to make a world. There's a place for everyone and a place for everything. To every season, turn, turn, whatever. I feel like crap today. I thought yesterday I was sick. Well, yeah, and I thought I couldn't. I was starting to get better, and woke up today just feeling like poop. And some like a little poop emoji. Now I got that damn thing on my nose. A shiny spot on my nose. Ah, It's honestly, it's really hard to upset to make me mad. There are certain things I don't. Everybody's got their buttons, and there's certain things that this. For the most part, I'm the most easygoing person. I'm easy to get along with. I can get along with anybody. It's just my circle's small of people that I have a lot of what I call acquaintances, people you might say hi to, but the circle of people you trust and you actually like really like would hang out with, would trust yourself and your life and everything else with is pretty small, and it served me pretty well. I always said, that there's a life's too short to be too serious, and I act like a big kid a lot of the times, but you just gotta know that there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place for being a big kid, but you gotta know when to be serious. And that's the problem a lot of people have. They act like a big kid, they never grow up and they never know when to be serious. And as long as you know the difference, when it's okay to be a goofy goober. I'm a goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers. Goofy goober, yeah. Wasn't that SpongeBob? Yeah, from when my kids were younger. Like when I went down to Alabama and seen Mike, I don't even know if Mike's in here, but when I went down to Alabama and see Mike, Mike's a really down to earth, cool guy, man. It's nice sitting around talking to him. Kind of wish that we'd had a chance to have a few beers together, but always had to drive back to the hotel. And I tell you what, I had one of them things they call a Dewey back in 2008. I don't ever want to have another one. So you won't catch me drinking and driving. Won't happen. And my wife is a staunch advocate against being my designated driver for some reason. That was that sucks. Takes all the fun out of it for me. And I came how every once in a while have a cool night to go out and get drunk. I did for my birthday. I think that's how I ended up getting this cold. Was I went out Friday last week and sang karaoke and got drunk. And every time I go to sing karaoke, somebody always has a cold and they want to get up there and sing, and then don't realize they're making everybody else sick. Need a little disinfectant thing to spray the microphone with or something. Wife, if you're in here, we need some blackout curtains on these damn windows. That's driving me nuts. Or I'm gonna move my studio out of this room. I think that's a better idea. Now I got a shiny spot on my nose. There was a bunch of things that come. I gotta start writing stuff down. There was a bunch of things that popped in my head that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot it all. Kinda throw a fit. That's a like. What's the opposite of an exaggeration? That's a like under exaggeration. Uh, Mike not in here today at all. What the hell is he doing? They like invited a bunch of us onto that panel for like voting day panel, and he's like, "We're gonna have a panel for real election results on Tuesday," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think you're out of your mind if you think that you're anybody not going to be any actual results on Tuesday. This is not happening." Just like last time, we won't figure out exactly who's the president for a couple of days after Tuesday gets there. But I know for one thing's for sure, I'm really tired of hearing about it. Sure, I will answer to the best of my ability. Do clubs have problems with members that live stream? All clubs are different, and sometimes it's regional. Right now, there are a lot of clubs that like throwing their stuff out there. Mine's one of them where they're really big on not doing that. And I kind of asked permission to do the show, and they said as long as I keep my club out of it and don't stir stuff up and try to talk crap about other clubs and all that, which I wouldn't do anyway because that's just not me. Uh, but they wouldn't care, but at the same time, you know how somebody says they won't care, but you know they will. Uh, if it gets too big and becomes a problem, as long as it's not a thorn in their side or anything, they'll kind of be permissible of it. But I think I have the feeling eventually somebody's going to try to ruin it for me and get in the chat and start trying to say stuff and then bring negative light to it, and then they'll come to me and tell me I got to quit doing it, which will be unfortunate. But this is a hobby for me. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to all of you, and that's kind of what it's all about. It's about having fun and and sharing what I can. And we have the Steve's has got a prediction. He's Nostra Stevens. I like Nostra Stevens better. Oh, my wife found a new drinking buddy last night at the party. I disappear for a minute to go have a little meeting, and next thing I know, I come back and she's hanging out with these people. I'm not even sure whose old ladies they are, and she's like, "I gotta buy more drink tickets." So she's buying more drink tickets, and I'm like, "Oh no, here we go." But yeah, she has. Oh yeah, ask her about her. She's had some wonderful experiences at her one old clubhouse. She spent almost a whole night hugging the toilet. I forget what it was. I think I dared her to chug some. They have this one bottle. It's I forget what they call it, but it's a mixture of all the old stuff that's left out of all the old bottles, and they just pour whatever little bits left into this nasty bottle, and they give it to anybody that's dumb enough to drink it. Oh, it's Kissing Cousins Day in Alabama. Didn't know they had a day for that. I thought it was year round. How's Gary doing? Gary, you doing all right up there in Michigan? It's gonna be cold as hell up there. My old lady just doesn't. She doesn't. You know how well, prime example. When I was on that panel and I sat the bottle off to the side, I knew when I had had enough. She doesn't know when she's had enough. Like, but I let somebody else go. Ah, come on, you can't be like that. You just yeah. I succumb to peer pressure every once in a while. I let him talk me into, even though I knew I shouldn't. I did. But I look at it this way: I hardly ever drink. But like I say, when I do it, I like to do a good job of it. If you're going to do anything, do it right. I'm not a big. I don't know how people. I don't know how somebody could be an alcoholic, dude. Because it sucks so bad the next day. I just can't. I can't. I feel like garbage for 3 or 4 days afterwards. You guys are a trip. I love you guys. Hey, Evil Rick, how you doing? Yeah, and uh, this cold's got me messed up. I'm taking enough cold pills to kill an elephant. Feel like a train wreck. I thought maybe if I drank enough, I'd make the Germies run away. That was my aim. Alcohol kills germs, right? I thought maybe if I just drank enough alcohol, it would kill the germs. And get enough alcohol in my blood, maybe the germs would run away. It didn't work. You gotta remember, Mike's got a few less pounds. You know, he's missing some parts. And yeah, I can't smoke either, man. I just can't do it. I'm a lightweight. Can't smoke the wacky tobacco. That's all it makes me want to do is stare off in the middle of nowhere and go, and then not talk to anybody, and makes me kind of antisocial. I tell you, I went to uh, was it Wildwood, New Jersey, a couple years ago. And I walked along the boardwalk there, and I might have already told you this story. I don't remember. But I walked down the boardwalk, and I'm looking in the little display cases, and the guy says, "Yo, you want to try those?" And I says, "What is that? Is that CBD or something?" He goes, "Oh, no, no, THC's legal here." I went, "Oh." Always wanted to try it that way, just once to see what it was like, because everybody claims it's a different buzz. And I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't mind trying that, but I don't know." So he slid me one. He says, "Here, just, like kind of like the old, you hear about the old drug dealers in the 80s, 90s, give you slip you a little sample so you want more." That's what he was acting like, He said, "Here, take one." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Thanks, man." I went back to the hotel room and I said, "You know what? I still got, stuff to do. I got to socialize and whatnot. And so I'm just going to take this little tiny sliver of this thing." And I did. I took my pocket knife and I slipped out a little sliver of it. I said, "And that'll be just enough to give me maybe a little tiny, tiny buzz. And I'll still be able to go around, socialize, and do all the stuff I got to do." And I took that little sliver and we walked down to the boardwalk again, walked around a little bit, and it was hot. I remember it was hot and I was sweating real bad. So I went back in the hotel room. I cranked up the AC and I stood in front of the air conditioner and it just like hit me like a Mack truck. Just went pang, you know? And I'm like, "Oh, I think I need to sit down." So I went out right outside the room. They had these plastic chairs and I sat down on one of them plastic chairs and I sat there and I was like, "Oh no." So this is not good. And I ended up, yeah, pretty much being unfunctional for a couple of hours. I think I walked around a little bit, uh, almost got lost, went back, sat in my chair, had people walking past going, "Dude, are you ever going to move?" I got up and walked around a little bit. I made it to the bathroom to pee once, I think. But yeah, dude, I don't do good on 420. And I don't know why people say it's like a completely different buzz. A weed buzz is just it's a weed buzz, man. It's not really that much different. It's a weird kind of floaty, spinny feeling for me, and a lot of paranoia. As soon as I start getting, I could always feel that point where I feel pretty good. This is nice. If only I could stay right here, this would be great. But I always end up a little just enough too high. Always do every damn time. Excuse me, I still got this cold. I quit smoking for a long time, man. I quit smoking for like 2 years, and well, smoking cigarettes in place of a vape. It did real good until I got with my wife, and she smoked, and she didn't really want to quit smoking. So got me back at it a little bit. But my biggest vice is when I'm standing around BSing with everybody and chit chatting, and this makes me want to smoke. I can't help it. Or a nice cup of coffee on the porch with a cigarette. Coffee black, cigarette. Start this day like all the rest. Anybody know that song? Name that tune. First thing every morning that I do is start missing you. Anybody old enough in this room to have any clue what that is or who that is? What, the douche flute? That's what they call them around here. The old douche flute. Is that just a thing around here? Nobody's heard that says that anywhere else. Yeah, I forgot my old lady starts a new job next week, so I'll have to try to run home at lunchtime at work and scoop her up real quick and go down and vote. If I really would have thought about it, I probably should have went. There's one place here where you can early vote, and it's always got a line almost all the way around the block. I think it's crazy. I don't want to stand in no line. On election day, whenever I come down, as long as you don't go like during one of the real busiest times of the day, usually in and out pretty quick. And I don't know how everyone else's ballots look, but I tried to explain it to my old lady because my old lady registered to vote. She's going to vote for the first time ever, and tried to explain it to her, try to help her out. I don't know what you guys' ballots look like, but I said it reminds me of when you were in school and you had them little filly out number 2 pencil things you had to have, and the little boxes. And I said on one side it'll have if it's an issue like a measure, like an issue, vote yes on issue, whatever, blah blah blah. I said it'll list it and say what it's about, and then you'll have a little box to fill in. And then it'll say someone running for such and such office. Usually has a Democrat or Republican thing on it, and then it'll have a little box you fill out. I said, but when you're in there, I can't coach you through it. They will not allow me to do that. It's illegal to do that. I was just trying to. And my daughter registered to vote for the first time too. See, the world's gone so crazy, man. It's bringing people to register to vote that normally wouldn't. But I'm proud of them because I've been a staunch advocate of telling people I really believe it's your civic duty as an American to go vote, no matter who you vote for, no matter whether you vote for, you write your own name in there, whatever you want to vote for, whatever you want to do. But democracy only works whenever we all show up and we all cast a vote. It's the only way it works. Yeah, I think it's because whenever they have early voting here, they don't open very many places to do it. Just down at they have our courthouse open for early voting, and they say they've always got a line around the block. I probably should have voted early, but hopefully works okay with me trying to rush home and rush over and cast a quick votey schmody. And I always have to get my little "I voted today" sticker, stick it on my shirt, and so everybody knows I did it. I did my job. No, I'm goofy, I know. Is there still people here? Yeah, we got 14 people. Anybody got any more questions? I like questions. Yeah, my personal opinion, I think if the Democrats win, I think the world's headed for a pretty dark place for a while. That's that's my opinion. I think they're steering everything in the wrong direction. I think it's like a ship, you know. Some of these guys might not be the best for the job or whatever, but at least they gotta if they start steering in the right direction, because the whole future, everything depends. If Donald Trump loses, they're gonna they're gonna think that the country should go in the direction that it's going, all this craziness and whatnot. And I like the direction the Republican Party is going, and I'd like to see it continue down that road. If Donald Trump loses, I have a bad feeling that the Republican Party is going to kind of drift back towards where they used to be, which I don't want to see. But that panel was cool. I mean, that we was on Friday. If you haven't went and watched it, go watch it. You'll see me get drunk and doing some really stupid, weird things. I was doing at the end. I was doing the cat face rub on my microphone. It was almost like what you see on TV when somebody takes ecstasy, they want to touch things. I was just like, oh, that feels good. Excuse me. Oh, hey, Lee. Glad you made it. Yeah, I think if well, here's what I think is going to happen. If Donald Trump wins, I almost guarantee you they will immediately try to impeach him again. I think that's what I think they'll end up doing. They're going to try to. They've already said that they don't want him in office, and they've said some things that they think they should not. If he wins, they should not. Well, they're talking about doing all the things that they claimed that we did before, which is kind of screwy. Uh, but yeah, I think if Donald Trump wins this, it's going to be entertaining to say the least. I guess. Hopefully, everybody's got some emergency stuff. That's all I'm worried about is I got enough food for a little bit, and I gotta make sure I got some ammo. That's what you want to be stocked up on more than anything. Is make sure you're stocked up on ammo, because he who has the most bullets is never out of anything else. I'm disappointed. What's that? I disappeared for a minute. Freedom seeds, is that what we call them? Yeah. My ammo is hard to find. I carry a 10 millimeter. I mean, you could actually shoot 40 millimeters through a 40, not 40 millimeter. That'd be a big gun. You can shoot 40 through a 10 millimeter, but you can't shoot 10 millimeter through a 40 because of the higher pressures. Well, that's all. See, I didn't realize this before, but yeah, 10 millimeter it was the original size, and then they cut it down to 40 because they said it kicked too hard, but my 10 doesn't kick that harder. My 9 kicks harder than my 10 does. Uh, I think it's mass because it's a bigger gun. My 9's just a little thing. What's it? Uh, one of the laws of conservation of energy or whatever. An equal and opposite reaction. If you have more mass, if the gun's bigger, it actually you feel it less, more transferred to the mass. Yeah, and I'm supposed to be an engineer. I should have got a job with the person I was copying all them tests off of. Just kidding. I don't know if anybody else has been to school. And I told my wife this. I says, you know what Kavala Harris's ramblings remind me of? Back in school, they used to make, and in college, they used to make you write these 500 word, it's like 500 or 1,000 word minimum essays. And when you write those and they require such a long amount of words, you kind of get into these word salads like she does, trying to stretch it out and make 4 or 5 pages of blabbering about nothing. And that's exactly what her talking reminds me of. Smart people from Boston, I get a kick out of them. They talk funny. Well, I'm sure they don't talk funny to them or to you or whatever. Wasn't it Mark Wahlberg's movie, The Four? No, that was in Michigan. One of Mark Wahlberg's movie. He was from Boston. I know when he played in Ted, I think they was from Boston. Boston. Yeah, yeah. I like to think I'm somewhat intelligent, but as I get older, I think when you, I think there's some truth to the more you learn, when you shove some things in, other things fall out. So it seems like I've lost. Every time I try, I'm constantly trying to learn new things. I like learning new things, but I think I lose a little every time. You shove so many things in, you got to lose a few to fit it in there. I'm for a hire, not necessarily by choice. As I travel around, though, I just find out, it's still just grass, it's still just dirt. People are still just people. Just all the weirdos seem to like to live on top of each other in these big cities. I don't understand it. People need to spread out a little bit. It's horrible. I just never understood. I got almost like a phobia for cities. I just hate big cities with a passion. You won't see me in one. I hate them. I can't stand crowds either. I can't stand you. You're like you can't walk through people without like rubbing your ass on them or whatever. You feel like you're getting molested every time you're trying to. Like I've been in bars like that, dude. I hate that. I immediately start heading for the door when it starts getting that packed. I can't stand it. See, I got the M&P 10 millimeter that's known to have issues, and it did actually happen to me. When practicing pew pewing, and it did. It had one stick in the pipe, crooked. It was a loading issue. Come up and try to go in nose first, and then but tilted just enough of an angle it catches and it doesn't push in. I bought the heavier duty magazine springs, which I have not swapped out, which I should have done. That's just me being lazy. They say that fixes it. I've heard. Hey, I don't have to live in a big city. I got a Walmart right down the road. I got drugstores. I don't why. I just don't understand it. There's just and nothing anybody could ever say to me to convince me living in the city is a good idea. The biggest city I lived in, or yeah, was Parma, right outside of Cleveland, and I hated that. The little town I'm from is too big for me, and it's a small town. I grew up in a basically they had a pretty much one street that went up through a valley and a bunch of houses lining the street. Like if you couldn't really call it a city, it was a little country town. I say it was in the country because it kind of was. There was woods behind my house, and when you get bored as a kid, I used to go exploring, go for a hike up in the woods, and it's great for helping clear the mind, I guess. Used to like sitting under trees and just staring and enjoying nature, and do a lot of fishing. I was just telling one of the guys yesterday, I'm disappointed because there's another year gone by. I've not had a chance to go fishing once this year. It's upsetting because I ain't getting any younger. It's just no matter what happens, like the club keeps telling you that you're supposed to have a life outside of the club because you want to have good life club balance, sort of. But then they just keep wanting more and more and more and demanding more and more of your time. And pretty soon you just can't do anything except, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love riding. I love hanging out with the guys, but I sure miss, a little sitting on the riverbank with a 12 pack and throwing your pole out and try to catch some fish. And if you don't catch anything, at least you catch a buzz. Miss those days. Nice and quiet, listen to the sounds of the river. I bought one of them telescopic fishing poles I could try to put on my bike because I thought that would solve some of my issues. I would just like take off on the bike and have my little telescopic fishing pole and throw out anywhere I want. But that didn't pan out either. Now I just have a telescopic fishing pole in my closet. It's amazing how much that how many things I have that I thought was a good idea, and now they got a bunch of new shit laying around here that's just never really gets used, never got used. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, there was a nice 10 millimeter 1911 I almost bought, but I don't know. They don't hold, most of them don't hold the double stacks and quite as many rounds. I like keeping my options open in case I miss a few times. But yeah, you can really tell a difference. Whenever I lived in the city and you heard a gun go off, the people empty out rounds and never hit anything. I said, boy, if it was a country boy like me, it only takes 2 or 3 rounds and we can hit what we're trying to hit. But them city boys just don't know how to shoot. And you get to the range more often or something. That's one thing I noticed, Steve, whenever I moved up by Parma, people were different. Like when I grew up out in the country, small towns and whatnot, you can walk down the road, go to Walmart, strike up a conversation with almost anybody. Say hi, how you doing? Start yip yapping and talking. Next thing you get can talk to somebody and get a whole life story. Uh, when I moved up by Parma, almost immediately, you say hi to anybody, they look at you like you're a weirdo. Like, why are you talking to me? Like, I don't know you. I can't stand that. People should never be that way. That's how people lose their faith in humanity, man. We're all humans. Yeah, I elected for the 10 mil because it's, well, anything worth doing is worth overdoing, right? You'll never hear anybody said, "Oh, I just had too much firepower. It was too strong." Yeah, but there's always a person who brings a 22 to, I don't know. Any gun's effective, just if you hit in the right spot. I just like having a little more range. 10 mil's got a little more range. I almost bought one of them little Derringers, but then people keep saying it's not a good thing. Too much money for something like that. See, I had a 10 mil as my regular carry gun. I carried either on my side or in the shoulder holster. Um, then I bought a Taurus 9 that I kept on my ankle that was not inconspicuous. You could tell it was there, even though I thought it was going to be small enough, and it wasn't small enough. So I ended up giving that to the old lady, and then she went out and bought a Glock, and kept the one I gave her. I gave her one because she didn't have one. Now she has one. Now she has two, and I have one. That's bull crap. I need to get a. I seen the Ruger makes a little 9 mil. It's not high capacity or anything, but it's like 8 rounds that I think will be small enough for an ankle holster. Thinking about getting that, and they're only $250, I think, which is good. It's always nice. You should have a backup. You should always have a backup. My microphone smells like pickles. I must have spilled some pickle juice on it the other night. See, I come in, my crap was all it looked like I fell over the desk almost, which I know I didn't, but because I'm a fat man, I would have smashed all this stuff, but I must have bumped it heavily when I was trying to get out of this corner. I've only been to Toledo once. I went there for a concert. Uh, they have this big hotel there. Uh, right, must have been 2 blocks from the venue. And it's funny because it's an ex-girlfriend. I took her to a concert. And I said, "This is the nicest hotel that's like really close to the venue." I said, "So, if the bands are staying in town, they're probably staying at this hotel." Well, there's this band that I had never heard of that she wanted to go see. They're called Ghost. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of them. They're like Danish or something. Some something like that. At any rate, they dress like you expect them to come out and sound like Slipknot, and then they come out and it's some weird glam rock metal shit. That's weird as hell. She liked them, and we're sitting. They got a restaurant on the top floor, and we're sitting there. We went to really crazy expensive food. We went to breakfast uh, that morning, and we heard these guys talking with a weird accent a couple tables down, and there wasn't all that many people in there that day. And overheard him talking to the waitress, saying, "Oh no, he's got a thing going down here. They're in town temporarily, and they got a show going on." I said, "What's that lead singer that wears all that makeup and he wears this weird death metal Pope thing outfit? What's he look like without all his makeup on?" And we sitting there googling it and stuff, and it was him. He was the lead singer for this band, two tables down. She's like, "Oh, we should go." I said, "You go over and ask for an autograph if you want." I said, It's an opportunity, for you. You're a big fan." I said, "I would feel like an idiot because I don't even know who they are. I don't even know any of their music. I asked for, like, even try to strike up a conversation. I can't even say, yeah, oh, I'm a big fan. I don't even, what are you going to say? Excuse me, sir. I don't even know who you are." you know, I said, "Go over there and just treat them like people. They're just people, man. Uh, you know, they're just like anyone else. Go over there and just say hi. How you doing? Uh, don't act weird. Don't be a pain in the butt. And you just say, 'Hey, excuse me. I'm a fan. And I just like to say hi. And would you mind if I took a selfie? Just be polite. Um, if he's shoving food in his face, try to wait for him to be done. Just try. They're just people. I know it's a sometimes the ones I really hate is when they act like everybody's an inconvenience because of their attitudes. Then she wouldn't. She chickened out. I said, "The opportunity of a lifetime. You missed it." And then when we got off the elevator to go back to the hotel room, they were standing right there. I said, "There, you had a second chance." And she's just too chicken to do it. Opportunity missed. But that's a story. You know, if it had been one of the bands I liked, if I got a chance to meet Zach Wild once. He's a really awesome guy, man. Really awesome guy. Black Label Society. Ozzy's guitarist. Yeah, when he tours. I mean, he don't mess around. He goes different place like every night, different city every night. It's not like once a month thing. He's got a grueling tour schedule. So I figured he would be tired and grumpy and kind of want to brush the fans off a bit, how people get, like, "Oh, okay, yeah, fine, and yeah, you're a peasant." But, because he is like rock royalty, but he was very down to earth, very nice guy. I was impressed. He's very humble, very good dude. Uh, yes, it depends on my mood. It's my playlists are got to be the most bipolar thing you've ever heard. It'll go from like Hank Williams Sr. uh, to Slayer and Slipknot. I keep meaning to divide them up a little bit because it's really awkward when you're driving, riding down the highway, jamming some tunes out or something. You're like getting into some Slayer and you're riding fast, and all of a sudden there's a tear and my beer comes on or something. It's very bipolar. You know, you got to be in a mood for certain things, and nothing says 90 miles an hour flying down a highway like some Slayer or something like that, or Pantera. You know, and an old Hank Williams song or Merle Haggard song comes on, and it's like, oh, that's a hard left turn. You know, I need to divide them up into country playlists, speedy metal playlists. I like uh, I like a little bit of everything except for uh, when I was a DJ, I had to listen to a lot of hip hop, what I call hip hop dance music, which is okay. Not a fan, but I listen. I can tolerate it. Uh, One thing I don't like is what would be considered gangster rap. Yeah, I don't like it. Everything else I can listen to. Hell, I could even listen to some Beethoven if I wanted to. This is all what you're in the mood for. But I'd say more often than not, I listen to metal more than anything else. I used to listen to a lot of Hank Jr. and I like old country. I have a hard time getting into some of the newer country. I like to get some of the newer guys that are like, was it Jamie Johnson and some of the new guys that have that older sound. But it seems like every generation of country seems to get a little bit more and more and more closer to being hip hop music. Funny story, not this club I'm in now, but another club I was in. Uh, I get a text message one time. A guy says, "Anybody want to go to a concert? They want us to work security for him." Uh, and I was like, I don't really want to. I'm not feeling up to it, you know. It's funny how you never know what kind of opportunities you might miss when you do that. I said, "Who is it?" And they said, "Oh, it's this new up and coming star that at the time I had never heard of." I said, "I don't want to go see some fucking jelly donut." Well, it was Jelly Roll, and then opportunity missed. Never heard of him. Now he's like got all big and stuff. So opportunity missed on that one. I could have met Jelly Roll and hung out with him. Oh well. It's funny sometimes when you pass on an opportunity, man, you never know what kind of opportunity it might have been. Thanks for stopping in, Tats. I appreciate it. My mumblings and cough syrup ramblings will probably be over soon. We're an hour in, and I talked about a whole lot of absolutely nothing. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to when I'm in my better trains of thought. Actually, scribble some notes down. I'm gonna have to start doing it because, uh, like earlier in the week, maybe I'm bipolar. I don't know. Earlier in the week, I had a whole different kind of some thoughts going on and some things I wanted to do and say. And as the week went on, like my whole train of thought shifted to other things, and I forgot all about that. It's like I can't remember one next day to the next anything. That's why I get a kick out of people who say, "HardWire, I like talking to you because you don't like I can tell you anything and I know it don't go nowhere." I'm like, it's because most of it's gone one ear and out the other. I probably won't remember 10 minutes from now, to be honest. No, it's not trying to be rude or anything. I had a head injury. I blame it on my head injury. I had a head injury when I was 24. Smashed my head and some brain damage and stuff. So I have something to blame it on. It's probably not that. I'm probably just old and I probably drank too many beers or something in my life. I don't know. But at least I have something to blame it on. Managed to maintain 11 people still in here watching. Well, how in the hell can you tolerate me mumbling and rambling? But thank you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Diehards. It's really, really screwy, Steve. How some of the things you don't, to me, some of the things I don't want to remember, I remember, but the things I want to remember, I can't remember. It's really funny how that works. It's like you can't choose sometimes. I watched the latest episode of that Tulsa King today. That was pretty good too. It looks like they're getting ready for the finale pretty soon. It's getting wound up. I don't want to give anything away, but that's a good show. And I haven't watched any really good movies lately. Movies are something that's really turning to crap, man. They really don't come out with a lot of good ones anymore. um, I've been watching one with what's his name, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones dude. He's in this comedy series called Shrinking. That's pretty funny. You get a chance to check it out. Check it out. Him and that I can't remember his name. One tall dude that plays in a lot of funny movies, but at any rate, it's a pretty good series. Trying to come up with suggestions of things for you to watch. There's this there's I've been finding some really cool stuff on YouTube. There's this one guy, what the hell's his name? I think it's Hardwire. He's a real dickhead. Don't watch his show. He'll bore you to tears. Some people make you laugh so hard you cry. I'll bore you so hard you get tears. Hey, turn on Hardwire shows right before bedtime. Make you fall asleep. Better than the sounds of some white noise or or storms. It's like listening to a professor. Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. I watch a lot. Hey, I'll tell you the perfect thing to watch to put you to sleep is they got these YouTube videos out there that on quantum physics. And there's a lot of really smart people out there doing a lot of really cool things. And quantum physics is fascinating, but when they're trying to explain all this stuff to you, it is awfully hard to stay awake. It is so boring, and they got the worst people trying to explain it to you. These really smart guys just don't know how to communicate well. Hey, what's up, GG? I had one of them kind of teachers. He's like a smart dude. You could tell he was a smart dude, but he just could not convey a point for nothing. I think we actually got that. Some of the students. That was back when I was in my 20s. I think we actually complained and got that dude fired. It's a shame. We didn't mean to, but he was a smart guy and he'd worked in this field for 20 years. He decided he wanted to do some teaching and he could not teach. Teaching's a skill. Some people just don't have it. And they can be the smartest people on the planet, but they cannot teach. My one friend, he's a great guitar player, and I asked him one time to show me some stuff. And sometimes some people are just so good and they forget what it's like to not know anything, and they race through things so fast. It's like, here, just do this. Sure, I'll do that. Not. You got to learn how to slow yourself down enough to teach people things. But you guys have boats in Tennessee? Eastern Tennessee, they wish they had more boats over there. But nice time to live on a pontoon. If I ever I wish if I ever become a millionaire, I'll tell you, I'd build me like 3 layers of concrete block home with like rebar and forced poured concrete, steel beams. Like no tornado or floods ever ripping my place down, man. It's gonna be like a bomb shelter. It would take a bunker buster bomb to get through it. That's the kind of house I'd like to live in. And safe from the zombie apocalypse. Only bad thing is everybody for miles will know where a safe place is. And they'll be, come let me in, come let me in. Like, no, you're going to be a zombie. Get out of here. I remember there for a little while, people, I was actually thinking that shit was going to happen. Craziness. Actually, the level of paranoia in some of these motorcycle clubs is just something else. I actually helped one of them take steel panels, and I can only imagine the person that got this house after it was their clubhouse. It wasn't they didn't actually survive all that long. Not survive, they ended up not having that clubhouse for that long. But I helped them take solid steel panels and put up on the walls, and then they drywalled over top of them to try to protect from bullets in case they flew by the clubhouse. That's crazy. Well, the level of paranoia in some of these clubs is unreal. Can you imagine the next person who got that house finding, finding out that there was trying to run a screw in there or something and hitting that? Yeah. What the hell's wrong with these walls? Tearing them apart and seeing steel. I can't be very safe either, man. Electrical reasons and whatnot. I can't say that I'm a fan of his music though. I don't know why. Seems like mentally disturbed people like his music. I don't know. It's all a matter of taste. We all have our own taste. I can't get into the jelly roll. I mean, I got my own rolls. Maybe it's the name. I don't really like jelly rolls either. I like a good glazed donut, but donuts are really bad for you. So I try to stay away from them. It's fried bread with a bunch of sugar on it. Let's see. Next week we'll probably talk about more than likely the election stuff. If anybody, Blair, if you got any more ideas for a good show, things to talk about, uh, I'm always happy to come in here and blab about my week. I got new tires on my truck. Whee! Found some cheapos that turned out to be pretty decent Walmart tires. And well, I went and I thought I had a wheel bearing going out of my truck. Turned out one of my calipers was frozen. And this is my memory problem too, because I changed all the brakes on my truck and I forgot that there was one of them that stuck a little bit whenever I took the caliper apart. I had a hard time getting the piston back in and the slides were stuck. And I took them out and I put a good wire wheeling on them and greased them up real good. And I thought that would fix it. Turned out it was a stuck caliper. And they told me I needed new lug nuts, which I thought was weird. You know, why would you need new lug nuts? They said your lug nuts are swollen. Sound like something a doctor would tell you. Turn and cough, your lug nuts are swollen. But if you think about it, I mean, I took a minute to think about it, and as an engineer, if you over tighten nuts, they will like something. If you ever notice, if you ever work on a vehicle, some things they tell you shouldn't. Some bolts you should always replace. That's because you can't torque them right. If they've been torqued a couple of times, they actually the metal actually does stretch. So I guess it makes sense. I just never really thought of it that way. Uh, but other than that, my week's been tied up with this cold, having this cold. I got some uh, uh, raffle tickets to sell now because clubs can't sling dope anymore or anything, so they gotta be legit. They gotta sell T-shirts and raffle tickets and stupid things like that. But I'd rather sell T-shirts. But you know, gotta find a way to pay the bills, pay for things. So now I'm selling raffle tickets. If anybody wants to take a chance of winning a quarter of a cow or something, I can hook you up with a raffle ticket. Don't ask me which quarter. I have no idea. No idea. Maybe they're slicing it in four pieces and they raffle off. Maybe they're raffling off all four pieces. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not the stinky piece. I have no idea. I don't know how big of a cow either. They didn't tell me that. No idea. But I got raffle tickets, $5 a piece. Hit me up on Instagram or my ex account. I need to make well, Facebook's funny. They won't let you make a Facebook that's just your road name or whatever. Like I seen a video the other day. I don't know how many other bikers there are out there. I seen a video the other day where they were talking about proper etiquette. Okay. And he said to always take your glasses off. Don't shake hands with your gloves on. And he says, when you introduce yourself, you always give your real name. And I said, well, that's never been my experience. We never give out real names. It's always your road name. There's a reason why a person has a road name typically. It's because you don't want ever just anybody to know your real name. So if you're a friend of mine on Facebook or anything, consider yourself lucky because I try not to mix up my Facebook's pretty personal. It's me and my real life, and I try to keep that separate. I need a way to make because there's too much personal information on there, and it's mostly just people I actually know and talk to and met in person. But if you hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, I will take a picture of the ticket and fill it out for you if you're too far away. The Ohio, from what I'm understanding, the Ohio Pick Three night on December 14th, the three numbers that are the Pick Three numbers is going to be like the number of the lottery ticket. The raffle ticket. Like the tickets all have numbers on it, like 261, 263, 264, whatever. And whatever the pick three is going to be the raffle ticket that wins. That's my understanding of it. But if anybody wants one, hit me up on my Instagram or my Twitter. My Twitter is just, or my X is just HW underscore one and percenter spelled out, because they limit the number of characters you can put in a name. I couldn't spell my name out, so I don't know why I've elected to do it that way. Who knows what I was thinking at the time? My brain's fried. We was thinking about getting a new clubhouse, looking at it, but I don't know. We're thinking more of maybe some property or something, but we'll see. We gotta, whoever it was that said they was an expert at doing LLCs, somebody's gonna have to hit me up and try to help a brother out, because I need to figure out how to do one. And I know it's not as simple as just. I know it's something you got to fill out forms once a year, every year. You can't just buy one and have it, because they will literally kick you out the registry. You have to keep up with the paperwork yearly. And it might be just a simple form saying, how the what is it, 1040 EZ tax form, or where you just kind of put a couple numbers in. Might be as simple as that, just so they you're filling stuff out. But I got to figure that out, because we got to start trying to do things under an LLC. I know they're pushing hard for all the individual areas to get their own LLC, and I said, surely we're not the only ones that are getting asked to do this. So why can't we find somebody that can help us get these set up? I mean, all you have to do to prove that, like to have an, I know all you have to do to prove that to have a nonprofit organization is show that none of the individuals are making money from the money that comes in. And believe me, none of us are making anything. We don't have individual, like everything. It functions like a nonprofit. Everything we have goes into, we sell shirts, we buy more shirts. We have bills, we pay bills. We don't make anything. So it functions exactly like a nonprofit should. But the bad thing is, when you do all this too, you're inviting eyes in that you don't really want. But I don't think there's any way to keep that, without, I don't know. It kind of helps in a lot of ways protect interests of the organization, but I don't know. I'm a little ununderstanding of why they want to do it, but they have one that's what's it, nonprofit private club or something, like you would use for a VFW or a Moose, or I don't know what if you have those all around the country, but like an Elks Club, you can file for a nonprofit under those kind of things, and you can actually file for a nonprofit under you call it a bikers education thing, and you can file for a nonprofit under that too. There's a lot of ways to do it. Not really sure. I've kind of tried to look into as much as I can to see which one would be the best way to go about it. Not sure. I know you can look up a list of LLCs in the state. There are a lot of clubs in there, a lot of clubs I've never heard of. And then you can look it up and see all the ones that have fallen out of the LLCs because they haven't kept up with their paperwork. And a lot of these guys are probably operating under the assumption that they still have an LLC, but they've fallen out uh, because they never kept up with their paperwork. And a lot of those are clubs either because they don't exist anymore or they were under the assumption they didn't have to file every year. But you have to file like a tax return every year for an LLC. I know you do. Even nonprofits. If anybody has good information, email it to me. I'll put my email address up there. I know every state's different too. There's my email address. If you got good information on helpful information on that, email me. I'll read through it. If there's anybody that's got like the ability to be able to help with the paperwork or anything, that'd be great too. I appreciate it. There's a ton of things that we're looking to do, but we're kind of behind a wall of we need to get this LLC set up because none of us want to have it in our individual names. We want to have it under the LLC protects the individual, and the company acts like its own entity. So it helps shield. Yeah, it sounds complicated and boring. But the more I look it up, more complicated it sounds. And I might be making a mountain out of a molehill. It might not be nearly as complicated as what it sounds like it is to me. I don't know, but it sounds really complicated. Ooh, damn amount. Yeah, I seen. Glare. I'll hit you up and see if you can help me out with that. What to do? Breaking stuff. Well, I thank you all for stopping in today. You listened to me ramble and mumble for almost an hour and a half. If you ain't banging your head off the wall yet, I don't know. You're resilient. I don't know. I don't know why. Sometimes I wonder why you guys would even stop in. But it's fun. It's like our weekly little kind of catch up and BS and have some good conversation. You guys are great. We're all family here. What's that? vcorp.com. What'd that cost you? You said it was like $200 or something. Well, Mike, you got watch. You might have had your LLC in California. LLCs are state by the state. You might have to refile it in Alabama. Yeah, I'm very good at that. And sometimes I will make things far more complicated than they need to be. I'm a staunch advocate of trying to keep things simple if you can. Cool. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. What all you got to do? Is it like this? Is it like a Mike? Is it like this like a tax return? Kind of. You file every year? No, I'm just curious. Maybe it's something I should do over a phone conversation instead of boring people with it. But today's episode is brought to you by beer of the root. But it isn't. They didn't give me anything. This sounds good. Ain't nobody'd want to sponsor this madness. See you later, SNS. I didn't hear the whole thing about what you had going on, but my prayers out to you, bud. I looked for you on Facebook. I was going to try to add you on Facebook, but I didn't see you out there. I don't know. There's a couple places called SNS Contracting, and it's a common name, actually, apparently. Well, yeah. If you want to make donations to the show, I can find that. If you want to make donations to the show, anybody except Jess. Jess, she's not in here anyway, but she's cut off. Mike, your sugar mama's cut off. At any rate, son out here. I know he appreciates it. He's the progenitor of all of this fun that we have. He's the OG. Started it. And we sure appreciate it. I sure appreciate it, Mike. Thank you. I'm really glad. No matter what, if something comes down to where the club tells me I got to quit making my show, I'll still show up, be a part of the family and the chats. But if I got to quit making my show, I'll do that if I have to. This is, like I say, this is just a hobby for me. It's not a job or anything. I just enjoy doing it. And I don't know if there's ever anybody that needs anything or whatever. Like, I tried to help Straight Jacket out as much as I could. If there's anybody that needs anything, I'm one of them kind of guys. I will do anything I can to help you. Much love, y'all. Next week we'll probably be talking about some election stuff, and obviously a whole lot of rambling. And well, thanks for joining Hittin It with HardWire for this week. Much love, honor, and respect. God bless to all of you. And hopefully we all do well with the coming madness this next week. But get out and vote. No matter who it is you want to vote for. Democracy only works if we all participate. See you next week.
Hittin' it with HardWire, we're burning it bright. Living on the edge, we'll ride through the night. No fear in our hearts, just the roar of the steel. Together we rise, now this life feels real. Yeah, found a new path on that twisted black line. A YouTube dream where his past can't confine. With every rev, he's reclaiming his soul, teaching the world how to ride, how to roll. Rising up high when the shadows surround, on HardWire's